season begins right now off the foot of Carl Meyer, and the new returner for the Saskatchewan Roughriders is James Letcher, the ex-Alouette, whose team lost in the Grey Cup to the Roughriders. We talk about that slogan, "It's our time," started by Trevor Harris before the West Final. Well, for Trevor Harris, Father Time still hasn't caught up to him as he gets set to go. And a milestone birthday.
Yeah, 40 years old, and he told us this week when we asked him about how did he consider retiring in the offseason or looking at this to be the end, and he said, why would I do that? I'm starting to get all the answers. As you get older, you get more answers. He said, there's no way I'm hanging them up yet.
Well, he was third in passing last year for 4,500 yards and throwing right away. First down, first play from scrimmage. It's complete to Keon Schaefer-Baker for a 10-yard gain and a first down, Riders.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups. And when you're at this point of the season, this is the first game for both these teams, even though we're in week 2. Your centers on the offensive line have to coordinate things up front in a big way. Logan Furlan will do that for Saskatchewan. Leading receiver in this group last year was Keyshawn Johnson. He is back. Watch out for Sam Emlis. As Milt Stiegel said, he is poised to have another 1,000-yard season.
Look at Mark Mueller there, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays for Harris and the Riders. Schaefer-Baker had only 5 games last year. An injury kept him out through much of the season. Has his first catch just across midfield. Throwing again, Harris off to the right. Coming back, catching that one is Keyshawn Johnson, the leading receiver for the Riders last year, who got hurt late in the season and was not able to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, he just won a wrestling match out there with C.J. Colton, new corner for the BC Lions. Pretty good coverage. They just wrestled to win that one, and Keyshawn Johnson won nothing.
Well, they were missing him, as mentioned, late in the season, and as a look at C.J. Colton coming over from the Ottawa REDBLACKS, but the depth of that receiving core for Saskatchewan really paid off, even without Keyshawn Johnson when it mattered most. Here's Tommy Stevens, short yardage quarterback, back again for the Riders. And he needed a couple of yards. It doesn't look like he got it. He pushed his way to about the 45, but it looks like a 3rd and short coming up.
Take a look at the BC Lions starting defense. Matthew Betts back at that defensive end spot. 44 career sacks. Again, led the league last year with 15. One huge acquisition in the offseason, Darnell Sankey. Montreal Alouette fans will know all about Sankey. He's now in the middle of that BC defense. Jackson Finley will start at free safety, and they're going to put a rookie on the corner and Tyson Russell out of Vanderbilt. Take a look and see if Trevor Harris tries to go after that matchup. Tommy
Stevens again. He needs a full yard to get it to the BC 44. Left side, goes around the edge and pushes his way through. Big Tommy Stevens had an easy first down with Sankey tackling him, but the sticks will move again for the Riders.
Boy, they were head-to-head. They were just looking, staring at each other. Look at this look from behind Tommy Stevens. They're just eye-to-eye. He and Darnell Sankey in short yardage. I'll meet you outside, and he does, but not before Stevens gets that first down.
Had to get to the 44, got it down to the 42. Riders on the move right out of the gate. These are the last 2 teams to open up their 2026 season here at the end of week 2. From the BC 42, first running play that wasn't Tommy Stevens in short yardage, and that goes to A.J. Ouellette, their leading rusher last year, who had a touchdown in the Grey Cup and a 4-yard pickup.
Well, if you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan, you like the look of this offense in the quest to repeat as champions. Something that the Riders have not done in their history is to win back-to-back titles. And when you look at their offensive line, a veteran group across the board, including Jamarcus Hardrick out there at right tackle. I mentioned Logan Furlan, 2-time CFL All-Star. So Trevor Harris got to feel good about those guys up front blocking for him.
That right side, well, in the middle, Furlan, and then Jacob Bramer and Hardrick, all CFL in 2025. Throwing again, caught again, Schaefer-Baker again, and another first down. Saskatchewan gets it inside the BC 30, 25.
No, Keon Schaefer-Baker and Sam Emlis, 2 of their star receivers in this core, missed a lot of the season due to injury. But they got them both back when they needed them most in that playoff run.
Down to the 24, and the second catch by Schaefer-Baker. Another pass coming. This is a deeper look towards the end zone. And well covered is Keyshawn Johnson. TJ Lee coming across to help out Colden. Incomplete, second down.
Yeah, Colden was in underneath coverage. TJ Lee over the top. The veteran of 12 years for the BC Lions. Brought back last year when all of a sudden the team thought, you know what, we need that guy.
And what a difference.
Yeah, he made a big difference.
They won out. And he helped out with that. They won 5 straight to end the season after he came back, 6 in a row to end it. And didn't lose again until that West final right here. 8th play of the drive coming up in a 2nd and 10. Harris to the right, and is caught down near the 10, just outside of it. And another first down, and that's a new receiver added to the Saskatchewan arsenal, and Jalen Johnson, a gain of 13 yards.
Yeah, out of East Carolina. But Corey Mace really likes this receiver. Feels like he will fill in for Dante Myers nicely, who's down in the National Football League. But he had a couple of options there. One was that short curl. That's what drew TJ Lee up. It was a little hitch curl there. TJ Lee jumped him and left Johnson open on the boundary.
Jalen Johnson from Duluth, Georgia. 5.5-minute drive to open things up. This is the first possession of this game. The first game for the Lions and the Riders, and Harris throwing again. End zone! Touchdown! Touchdown, Saskatchewan. Samuel Alouettes, the most outstanding Canadian in the Grey Cup last November. And the green and white picking up from where they left off.
Sam Alouettes injured and didn't return until October. He's running the seam route in that trips to the wide side of the field and gets in behind coverage, but didn't get back in the lineup till late in October. And then you mentioned the run. Instrument led the all quarterbacks in rushing.
And here we go, faking to James Butler, throwing it off to the right, and that is caught. That short pass, and it is Stanley Berryhill on the receiving end.
Starters for the BC Lions on offense. Michael Couture is that center who's got to get everything coordinated up front, but on one side a real veteran look. On the other side, he's got to make sure that Brandon Yates, in just his 2nd year, is on the right page. And there's a leading receiver in the Canadian Football League, Keon Hatcher, back with the BC Lions. Almost 1,800 yards last year.
Impressive totals. The Lions with their new uniforms. Pacific Frost, new road unis.
You like those?
Yeah, it's trying to cool off the Saskatchewan Roughriders maybe with those uniforms now. Let's take a closer look now on that first down carry by Butler, Saskatchewan's defense.
Yeah, the Riders up front lost a couple of key players in Malik Carney and Micah Johnson. More on that as the game goes on, but they did pick up James Fodders, from former with the Calgary Stampeders, and there is the new acquisition, former BC Lion with Josh Woods in the linebacking core. He replaces A.J. Allen, who's in Ottawa, and then Tavon Campbell led the team in interceptions.
Interesting for Josh Woods. He played for the Lions the last time these teams met in the West Final, at 6 tackles in that one last November. Now wearing green and white. Running again is Butler, left side. Coming in, Tavon Campbell, and then a pack. Take him down, and not much there. Down around the 40 for Butler. Just a couple of yards for BC.
Antoine Brooks in on that tackle. Yeah, you know, I think a lot of concern with the Rider fans here about this defensive line. They lost Micah Johnson in the middle of it. Malik Carney, who is now with the Edmonton Elks. And that's 16 sacks from last year. They were the 2 leaders on this defensive line. Saskatchewan's wondering where are they going to get those 16 sacks from.
Well, we just saw him on the inside. Now wearing 99 is Caleb Sanders, a great rotational defensive lineman for them. And they're throwing now, BC is, and a completion too. And that is Justin McInnes, 3rd in the CFL in receiving yards last year after leading the way in 2024, 15 yards.
Yeah, nice read. Got 4 receivers to the outside. One of them's going to sit in the hole with the zone look, and that's Justin McInnes. Real smart. Sometimes you just don't run full speed. You find that spot and sit down.
Rourke throwing deep this time. Down the right. The coverage is there. Nearly intercepted. Nearly picked by Saskatchewan. Marcus Sales back there with Roland Milligan, falling incomplete in a 2nd down.
So changes for the Riders in their D-line. Some changes in the linebacking core, Josh Woods being the change there. And then in the secondary, though, they should be solid. I mean, we were talking Roland Milligan, Nelson Lacombo at free safety, Marcus Sales, who is in his 8th year in the Canadian Football League and in great position on this play, and DeMarcus Fields and Tavon Campbell. That's a good group back there.
Lots of experience back in that secondary. Be sure. 2nd and 10 now. Underneath, it's caught. Not enough for a first down. And good work defensively. Antoine Brooks, the nickel linebacker, in there on McInnes, helping out with DeMarcus Fields, and his 3rd down coming up.
Take a look and see what Buck Pierce has decided to do. I think it's a punt team.
Looks like
sending out. It's a little too far. Trying to gauge this wind. It was supposed to be gusty at about 28 kilometers an hour through here, and it can get swirling. So a little bit out of the range of Sean White.
Veteran White, highest percentage last year. Longest had been 49, so they do punt. And Letcher looked like at first he wanted to let it roll in the end zone. A beautiful punt by Carl Meyer to get it roll out at the 2. We've seen this already a couple times this season where returners let it roll into the end zone. And
with it, that gets him out of the hole.
Big time. Gain of 20. Up to the 21 is Saskatchewan now in a first down. A.J. Ouellette, his 2nd carry. Feels his way through. He had 4 the first time around. He has more than that this time in that first down play to get it up across the 25.
Maybe most importantly, they're such good friends, A.J. Ouellette, Trevor Harris, and A.J. Ouellette, not just because of that. It's the job of the tailback, but he carries the ball here, but his #1 priority is protecting his buddy and making sure there's no free hitters that get home on Trevor Harris.
A couple of Ohio kids.
Oh, yeah. I think roomed together all last year.
So give him 5 up near the 26 now. 2nd down, throwing again, Keyshawn Johnson. I mentioned the top receiver for Saskatchewan in 2025 and has a first down again for the Riders.
I thought it was a great conversation we had with Trevor about his age, you know, and basically he's feeling like it's his best season last year, and now he's coming out of training camp feeling better than he's ever felt. And Corey Mace telling us that he looked as good as he's ever seen him. And he goes, why would I hang him up now when I'm getting all the answers? I'm figuring it out. You can see on this drive alone how quickly he's making these decisions.
I think a lot of people were thinking the same way the way he played, especially down the stretch. Going to work again. It's Ouellette. Left side and more. A.J. Ouellette. And he puts his shoulder down against Tyson Russell, the new corner there for BC, and post to another first down. It'll be 2nd and short coming up.
Yeah, big boys up front opening up that hole to the left of the formation. And this is a play designed to let A.J. Ouellette just pick his hole. Really, if he wants to take it wide, he can.
And it's Ouellette who takes the snap and tries to get it in short yardage, not Tommy Stevens. Looking to finish off that first down. He didn't need much. See where they spot the football. Had a great year with the Argos, over 1,000 yards. Even better year last year with Saskatchewan, 12-22.
Yep, that was his best years as a pro, and 2nd to Dedrick Mills for the rushing title.
And it is the Ouellette first down carry there after he got them close and takes it on the 3rd down snap with Harris back in. 7-0 lead. Moving along, they started near their end zone. Ouellette running again left side and works his way through to get it up across the Saskatchewan 50.
So you got to believe that Mike Benavides, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, is now trying to look deep into that defensive playbook and go, okay, like they're running the ball, getting it 2nd and medium or 2nd and short. When Trevor Harris is back there in the pocket, he's got lots of time. Does that mean we need to send more pressure from the linebackers or maybe even the secondary? But if you do that, you're leaving your DBs in one-on-ones against Keyshawn Johnson, Sam Emilus, Schaefer Baker.
They cross the 50. Here we go. Little pump fake, trying to freeze them. And it's caught for a first down by Schaefer Baker. Wow, they made something happen there when the Lions were pressing. And the fourth catch of this game already for Kean Schaefer Baker.
That's what Mike Benavides just did. He said, you know what, we got to send some pressure, see if we can at least make Trevor Harris a little uncomfortable, and that's what they do. Harris has to wait a second or else he may have got picked off there. It looked like the Lion defender tried to cut underneath that, but a great concentration by Schaefer Baker. It was a difficult catch.
Sure
made it
was.
look easy, yeah.
That was C.J. Colden, the one in coverage. And just over him, and Schaefer Baker gets it. They get it down to the BC 51. They started at their 1 yard line. Second possession, 7-0 lead. Back to Ouellette, and nothing doing there. Jackson Finley among those in the Lions who get a hold of him and limit the damage there to maybe a yard or a little bit less. Second and long coming up.
So I asked Trevor about his drive in the Western Final. 64 seconds to go from his own 20. And what Mike Benavides at the time did defensively, and he said he sort of mixed it up. They played a little bit of a almost prevent drop. We hit him in the seams there, and then when he tried to bring guys closer to the line of scrimmage, closer to the box, we went underneath to A.J. Ouellette. So there is an answer to whatever they want to try to do. It's whether or not you can find it quick enough.
Last play of the quarter, a very eventful one for these Saskatchewan Roughriders. More pressure coming, he gets it away! Caught again. These Rider receivers too, especially 89. Kean Schaefer Baker's having himself a game so far. With Ronald Kidd Jr. right there with them. Harris has to get it away with the blitz coming, and they pick up another big first down heading into the second quarter.
Pressure again, and this time Schaefer Baker's on a corner route, and the reason he's on the corner route because when you send pressure like that, the DBs have to play inside hard position. Schaefer Baker takes it. They're knocking on the door again.
They started at their 1. So 101 yards later, they're down at the 3. A.J. Ouellette, no. They stuff him up there. BC needs another big stop to force them into a field goal situation here because it's been all Saskatchewan, especially what they've done driving on offense.
Well, that's 2 long drives in the first quarter. This is the end of the second. Mike Benavides has had his defense on the field for over 10 minutes in that first quarter. You saw the time of possession. And Nathan Rourke has had the ball in his hands 6 times so far in this game. The best way to keep a good quarterback from scoring is keep him on the sideline without his helmet on. We used to say that about Doug Flutie all the time. Keep Flutie on the sideline, we got a chance.
Best defense you can have against him. Harris seems like he's been on the field the whole time. Touchdown! Touchdown, Emelis again. 2 long drives. 2 passes from Trevor Harris to Sam Emelis.
Take a look at this pocket that Trevor Harris has to survey the field. He drops back here from inside his 5. He's got extra protection, bringing in a little block from A.J. Ouellette, making sure he's got that protection, but he steps up in the pocket, gives his receivers all kinds of time to double or triple move their guys, and he finds Emelis.
That was a 109-yard drive for their second touchdown of this season, and that is hailed with another point after try to make it a 14-point lead right out of the gate. Now playing out on a short route on that play. It goes to Berryhill. It's a 1st and 10 at the BC 53 and a 14-point hole. James Butler and slips up a bit as he barely makes it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of a yard. Look at the records of Nathan Rourke by a Canadian quarterback in 2025.
Yeah, he's closing in on Russ Jackson. I mean, Russ Jackson's got a lot of yards in his career. Yeah. When it comes to Canadian quarterbacks, he'd have to play another 4 for sure, but his 5,000-yard seasons get him there in a hurry.
And joins Jackson, Canadian quarterbacks winning most outstanding player.
Yes.
Throw it again over the middle in traffic. It is caught again. as Rourke threads that one right through to get it down. First down at the Saskatchewan 40.
Yeah, that's the infamous bender route from Justin McInnes to just bend around the deep linebacker who's trying to get as deep as he can in that drop. That was Jameer Thurman. And he just bends around Thurman and the ball arrives.
McInnes on the catch and back to the ground go the BC Lions on that first down play. It is Nathan Rourke. You mentioned, Suits, his strength of running the football, the top quarterback last year in the CFL in running.
It looked like this play just didn't quite work as smoothly as they thought it might. I think they get a kick-out block. It's a RPO play, but looked like Butler tried to grab it rather than let Nathan Rourke make the decision. By the way, Butler finished third in the rushing race.
Consistently near the top. But here's Rourke after the run. The throw, a little bit behind, but it's caught. It's Javon Catoy with his first catch of the season, down inside the Saskatchewan 25, and a first down. Here comes BC.
See the misdirection here from the offense from Buck Pierce. They're going to go tempo and get right back to the line of scrimmage. Try to keep Saskatchewan on their heels here.
Lions have some momentum now on offense. Rourke off to the right, near the sideline, and just running out of room was Butler. Goes a bit high and out of bounds.
Let me show you the previous play. There's Keon Hatcher. Got all that movement coming from right to left, and Rourke just spins out of there, kind of a blind turn, gets on the roll to the outside, and then moves the chains that way to Catoy. Just missed a wide open Butler on the sideline, or they're even closer.
And the Rider faithful getting louder now, trying to help out their defense. With Rourke and the Lions down 14, but in some business right now to the Saskatchewan 24 from the right hash, and a second down and 10. Four-man rush. Gets it up, and up high to bring it down was McInnes. Bringing that down, but not enough for a first down. It looks like Sean White in the field goal unit will be coming on.
Well, they're two, and they are going to bring out the field goal team. I was looking to where they spotted the ball, and I thought the initial official looked like they were going to give forward progress to McInnes to make it about a yard and a half, but it's 3 yards. This is get a little momentum, get a from one of the most consistent kickers in CFL history.
He was 39 of 41 last year, 95.1% of the time. In his 17th season, Sean White up and through, 1 for 1 in 26, and the Lions get on the board 22 and won another one in Winnipeg last November.
Yeah, and what a contributor, not only in the protection that we talked about with protecting his quarterback in the passing game, but 18 touches, 115 yards. He had 83 yards rushing in the Grey Cup, over 100 yards rushing in the West Final against the Lions defense. Huge in that playoff run.
Getting a break right now to start this series. It is Thomas Bertrand-Houdon in the backfield and behind Trevor Harris now as they start possession number 3. A fake to him, complete to Keyshawn Johnson. And Harris has been on fire, surgical so far in this game, with another completed pass and 8 more yards for Saskatchewan.
That is exactly the way to say it about him. And I'm wondering about the leading sacker, if that's the way to say it, in the Canadian Football League, and Matthew Betts. I mean, he had 15 last year. The Lions led the league in sacking the quarterback, and we haven't talked about him at all. He's not been in the backfield.
But we did talk to Betts a couple of days ago, and he did admire how Harris makes it hard on players like him because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. He has in this. Pressure coming. He gets rid of it. Over the middle and caught. They do it again. Keyshawn Johnson. C.J. Colton was there, but Harris, with that heat coming, got rid of it again. Another 37 yards for the Rider offense.
Yeah, Bertrand had to take the inside rusher, and it was Betts off the edge who's going to get the pressure. So Trevor Harris knows he's got one guy unblocked, and it happens to be Matthew Betts. He's free off the edge. He's got a free hit, so he's got to get rid of it before Betts gets there. He does, and he gets to the Keyshawn Johnson, who opens on that post.
Involving all the big receivers for Saskatchewan's 2. Johnson with 5 catches, Schaefer Baker with 5, Emelis has 2, and they're both touchdowns. So Johnson leading the way in yardage with 85 after that one. Back in the ground, it's Bertrand-Houdon still in at running back. instead of Ouellette for a short pickup there on first down.
Just Trevor Harris and this offense look awesome right now. I mean, they, no matter what Mike Benavides is throwing at them in this first half, we've seen some blitz looks. We've seen some coverage underneath with high players to help out, and TJ Lee and guys like that. And he has found the answer with these long drives and converting on second down. This is a clinic.
Well, there's Lions defense so tested as you talk about, and at this point not being able to slow this juggernaut down here in the first half. 2nd and 7, Harris. Oh, they got to him finally with Betts, who led the CFL in sacks last year with 15, defensive player of the year again, and they needed to get some pressure on Trevor Harris. They finally do.
Yeah, they move him inside. He's usually that defensive end. He'll be in a 3-point. Sometimes it's stand up in that 2-point stance, but this time they move him inside right here. Now he's in the 4-point stance with 2 hands on the ground and a nice swim move over the top on Zach Fry to get back and get home. That's the first time the Lions defensively have made a dent in that pocket.
And now we see Alex Hale from Gosford, New South Wales, Australia. Went to college at Oklahoma State, and the new kicker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders for his first field goal try. Put down and put through, and 3 more on the board. So 3 possessions.
It's also a tribute to BC, to the mountains, the snow, the rain. That's why it has that metallic feel. Nathan Rourke and Keon Hatcher were actually a part of the unveiling up in the mountains, and they said every time hikers came by, they had to wear jackets because they hadn't been unveiled officially yet. And Rourke said, I was happy about it because it was cold up there, guys.
For that chill, Britt, of the Pacific frost, there'll be the road unis, and yeah, as you mentioned, a tribute to, I remember the Lions teams in the 90s with those silver helmets. That's the look on the road, and an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 coming up for Rourke.
Yeah, I know that New Jerseys are so subjective. You know, it's like your favorite color. People will have their own opinions on it for sure. I can tell you from a broadcast point of view, it is a challenge.
Maybe a little trickier seeing those numbers from afar. There we go. Pressure coming right away. He gets rid of it. Rourke completes that one, and taking a hit is Javon Catoy across midfield. Another first down receiving for Catoy, 17 yards.
Yeah, Javon Catoy, again, just keeps getting better all the time. He's lined up almost as a tight end on the line of scrimmage and just recognizes the coverage and sits there. The only thing I would suggest to him at the end of that play is to lower his pad level a little bit so he doesn't take a hit right in the ribs. He's a big guy, too. Javon Catoy at 6'5", 236.
So it's a 2nd down coming up now. Saskatchewan's offense has run 25 plays. This is just BC's 17th. Last time out, they were able to drive down and pick up a field goal, get some points on the board. In the Riders' zone now, and with time at Rourke. And he finds another receiver over the middle. McInnes takes a pop, and he keeps going because it looks like he was down. It doesn't look like he was the way he landed after taking the hit. He didn't think so. He's going to take, just to make sure, head off into the end zone.
Rourke has some time to throw here, steps into this. Again, it's McInnes in behind the linebackers. When you're down on a player, once the player is down that hits you, and that's Roland Milligan, who's still down, that's a concern for the Riders and their fans.
And you could clearly hear the whistle blow.
Yeah,
right at that point.
Once that whistle blows too, everyone stops. But they will rule that because Milligan was on the ground and McInnes was on top of Milligan, he was considered down. It was a big hit, and Roland Milligan, it looked like he got him right in the hip.
.27-yard pickup, but yeah, Milligan gets the worst of this big hit coming in.
A player who was nominated for 3 different awards a couple of years ago. outstanding player, outstanding defensive player, and outstanding special teams player nominee out of Saskatchewan. Just an unreal year where he was the outstanding defensive player of the year.
Back in 2024. And good to see him up and walking off now.
Just a stinger. Sometimes you get that hit on the shoulder pads and all of a sudden your arm tingles and you want to take a second and make sure you get all the strength back in that arm.
27-yard gain. Rourke to McInnes, down close to the 25 of the Riders. So BC in at least scoring position again, responding now on offense. Trying to get back in this game. Rourke tries to unload it to Butler, got deflected up and could have been picked off. Marcus Sayles coming in as that ball was kept alive after Butler was trying to get to it, but bottom line, a second down and 10 coming up.
Yeah, this was sort of make it up as you go along once the contain was there for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That's Josh Woods forcing Rourke up in the middle, and once he does that, now he's trying to find it. I think Justin McInnes became defensive back there. Maybe saved an interception.
Keep it out of the hands of Marcus Sayles, the ex-BC Lion. In a couple of years here in green and white now. The championship, last play before the 3-minute warning now. Rourke underneath. Checks that down to Xander Horvath, who had a solid rookie season with the BC Lions a year ago, backing up James Butler. So Lions.
I don't know. Well, we're going to have to follow this.
We got 2:52 until halftime. We got to get this story now.
Yeah.
That proposal there from Gaynor. In Pill Country. As said, assuming she can get out of there for halftime. First down by Horvath. So this drive continues for the Lions late in the first half. Faking to him. End zone. No. Little behind McInnes. That looked like it could have been a Lions touchdown.
That's the second time that a tailback has tried to pull the ball out of Nathan Rourke's hands. And this time it's Horvath. And you see how he kind of staggers with him forward. It's almost like that RPO type look, that fake to the tailback. It was James Butler the last time. And I think Nathan Rourke wanted that ball in his hands with a position to throw it about a split second earlier than he had it.
17-3. But the Lions late in the half can close the gap in a second down. Rourke steps up, breaks loose, and he has a first down. He's trying for a touchdown. They push. And Nathan Rourke takes it in with a little help from his friends. BC right back in this game.
That's what we're talking about when you talk about Rourke and how different he is as a runner from the quarterback position. I mean, he's not just running to get a first down and hook slide. He can take off and outrun angles or the power game. Now, he's got some help with his friends here coming at the end of this scrum where all the Rider defenders are there. Here comes the big boys to help push, and yeah, they get him in there.
9 plays, 70 yards, and mentioning just the dominance of the Riders earlier in this game, but we got a 4-point game coming up if the point after here by White is good. Coming up here right now with Carl Meyer to put it down to make it indeed. Saskatchewan 17, not a 14. Saskatchewan 7-point game. Saskatchewan 17 and BC 10, but getting within a score.
Yeah, back to one possession. And those long drives in the first quarter for Trevor Harris kept Nathan Rourke off the field. He's got a couple of drives in this second quarter, and it's come up with some points.
You talked about his running last year. Nathan Rourke, top quarterback in rushing yards in 2025, 564. He also scored 10 touchdowns. And as a touchdown in this one, he had a big touchdown to put them ahead in the West Final.
Yeah.
Last November.
All right. Yeah.
So that had put the pressure on Corey Mace for a dramatic comeback in that game. That's been much talked about to manage to get Saskatchewan into the Grey Cup.
You see no concern from Corey Mace, coach of the year in the Canadian Football League, who just said, yeah, I know they have a good offense and a good team. We don't want to be surprised by little BC drive there, but now he's got a chance with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go to put some Saskatchewan points, get Trevor Harris back out there.
And James Letcher, there he is, back along with Bertrand Hudon from the kick by Carl Meyer. One-score game, 7-point difference, 2:21 on the clock. It's Letcher with it. Across the 40 and a good return for James Letcher in his first game with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Remember the great quarterback Joe Pow, who not only started with the BC Lions, but also the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The two quarterbacks tonight, Suits, getting in range of his totals with each of these teams.
It's amazing, really. Trevor Harris coming into this game tonight, 250 yards behind Pow when he was a Saskatchewan Roughrider and a teammate. And then Nathan Rourke, 334 yards behind Pow for 7th in BC history behind Joe Pow when he was a member of the BC Lions. A throwing Simone could throw it through a brick wall,
Absolutely.
by the way.
Your old teammate, as you mentioned, with Saskatchewan. I remember with the BC Lions before that, another catch for Keyshawn Johnson. But yeah, excellent quarterback was Joe Pow. And could it happen on the same night that his standing with both of these organizations drops a peg?
Well, 300 yards for these guys.
Yeah.
That's a blink of an eye. And Trevor Harris is closing in on it right now in just a half of play.
He's at 196, 14 of 15. Rourke's at 140 now, 10 of 16.
Halfway to 300.
Both of these quarterbacks kicking into gear now. Harris with a brilliant start. Couple of touchdowns in their first 2 possessions. Here he is again. And that one falls incomplete. So BC's defense, especially this late in the half, just needing stops to slow down this green and white machine so far.
Well, it started when Matthew Betts got home. They moved him inside. He got a one-on-one with the guard inside on Zach Fry. He won that battle, and now, at least the Riders offensively and Trevor Harris has got to consider that there's going to be some pressure. Those first 2 drives, he was back there all by himself with no pressure at all.
Certainly encouraging, Suits, for Mike Benavides. First 2 and out of this game for either team. It's Saskatchewan that will be punting it away. So BC's defense responding now. Stanley Berryhill, the lone one back for the return. This punt from a new punter for Saskatchewan, Oscar Chaplin. Taken after 48 yards by Berryhill, who gets it up to around the 20. Dramatic goal in the second half by Kyle Larin to force the 1-1 draw ultimately for Canada. And the other 2 teams, Switzerland and Qatar, tied at 1 as well in that group, all even up, with Qatar scoring in injury time. So here's Rourke off to the left, and it's complete. Going down for it was Catoy. Already has a couple of catches in this game, but they blow it dead as he tried to get up and keep going.
BC fans are used to seeing Javon Catoy in the slot and at tight end, which is kind of unconventional for Canadian football. But Buck Pierce has moved him on the depth chart to wideout. He wants to play him out there a little bit more and make sure that his receiving core, all of them know all of the spots, so that they can make adjustments on the fly if there is an injury, but more importantly, they can move around with different formations and avoid matchups.
The tide of this game turning a little bit, with a field goal and a touchdown from the Lions offense at Xander Horvath in short yardage, and looks to have the first down up across the 30. That was on a 2nd and short play. So 1:38 on the clock, and Rourke and the Lions still have plenty of time to see if they can close the gap further. Down by 7.
What do you think about that decision? About the idea to have a running back do your short yardage, not a quarterback?
We've talked about it before in situations where we saw someone like Nathan Rourke taking it, worried about him getting hurt.
Yeah,
so I mean, I don't mind it myself, because that's
I don't like the starting quarterback doing it.
No, but having a quarterback do it.
Yeah.
Interesting discussion. Rourke back in, completing another one outside the 40. And that's Kieran Poisson. Mentioned the injury to Seven McGee at the start of the game. Poisson in there with his first catch.
West Shore Rebels, junior football, interior BC, and just
from the 41, pressure. Rourke gets away, then shovels it deep and completes it. Stanley Berryhill Still going. What a play by Rourke and the Lions.
So, penalty flag.
And we have a flag down, the first one. Could that be negating that play from Rourke to Berryhill?
Looks like the Lions are making their way back to the original line of scrimmage.
Face mask, BC, number 51. It's 15-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
So Michael Couture, the center, gets flagged on that. As you can still appreciate, suits the brilliance of Rourke here and what he was able to do.
One-on-one with Mike Rose, and there is the face mask right there. Clearly, and he hung on. You know, I think the officials probably would have let it go had he got to the face mask and then dropped the hand, but he hung on to it, so that takes that play off the board.
Had been a 51-yard gain, negated, and Rose did have his hand on Nathan Rourke. Made that jump pass. First and 25 now, 1:04 on the clock. Rourke back left, caught Keon Hatcher, last year's leading receiver in yardage, gets it up to the BC 40 with under a minute to go until halftime.
Yeah, you got to get that penalty yards back first on first down, then you get into a semi-manageable second and long here, but second and 10, maybe 11. James Butler has kind of snuck out of the backfield a couple of times and has been open for quick swing pass. Rourke hasn't seen him yet.
First catch for Keon Hatcher this season. Second and 11, so they got a lot of it back. Oh, nearly intercepted. That could have been a Rider touchdown. Tavon Campbell, who had a pick six last year in his first season back with Saskatchewan, just hangs his head there. What an opportunity the Riders had.
Yeah, it's a long out throw, and it's not on time. When you throw that long out, not on time, and don't step into it, you see the accuracy of the ball is way inside and off, and that gives Tavon Campbell the best crack at it, and he does everything but hang on to the football.
Crowd says it all with that reaction. Thought they had at least a pick. Who knows, maybe a pick six from a guy.
He was gone. He was gone.
He looked like it. 42-yard punt. There's Letcher spinning and up across at 35. 25 seconds on the clock. Tavon Campbell, by the way, tied for the lead with picks last year. He had 6 of them, including a touchdown. So the flag coming out and the Letcher return.
Yeah, so the timing off on a wide out throw and then throwing it inside and not right outside to the boundary where only your receiver can have a crack at it. Very dangerous when a guy like Tavon Campbell is hanging out there at the corner.
He was such a great addition to the Riders. Big part of their run to a championship last year. Came back from the NFL, and Corey Mace talked him into a comeback and really helped with that Riders secondary in the field side corner.
Well, what jumped off the page for me with
There are 2 fouls on the previous play. During the return, holding, Saskatchewan, number 47. Unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan, number 48. 25 yards, first down.
You know what I noticed immediately from the U of R product, the University of Regina, was just his closing speed. I mean, that's what's important for a defensive back. Get out of your back pedal quickly and be able to close on the receiver when the ball's in the air. And you've seen a lot of great DBs do it in the league, but I haven't seen a guy with the closing speed like Tavon Campbell. He can close that distance in a heartbeat.
We saw him several times, game breaker last year, including against Winnipeg, where he had an interception for 2 points on a 2-point convert try.
Yeah, sometimes it was about the timing of those picks too.
So they start at their 4. Now they've had a long drive already in this game, starting at their 1, but time is a factor now. We'll let the ball carrier, and only 22 seconds to go until halftime. And a player down for the Riders. And is that Jamarcus Hardrick, their all CFL right tackle?
They're going to get the training staff out and take a look, and meanwhile, Kate and her 3 bodyguards.
Yeah.
when it comes to the
Yeah. No, I'd say now, Kate, 3 ushers.
3 ushers.
You and Gaynor, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He proposed. The picture's up there. We'll hear all about that coming up, and awful to see this.
Yeah,
Jamarcus Hardrick,
the
top offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League in 2025, and needing some attention, still down late in this first half.
Looks like they're checking out the knee or hamstring possibly, but
getting some help too. Big Jamarcus Hardrick up on his feet. Product from Nebraska, from Batesville, Mississippi. Very proud of it.
looks good. Looks like he's walking off pretty good.
Yeah, nice to see that after the scare down on the field for the big right tackle, Jamarcus Hardrick.
See how they adapt to this and how they fill in for Hardrick, because Eric Anderson is dressed out of Western.
He was a 25 draft pick and getting his first taste of the action. There's Zach Fry, also of Western, and
they'll move Brammer to tackle and put Anderson at guard.
So back to work now late in the half, and breaking free is Ouellette with zeros on the clock, adding to his rushing total before halftime. And a Saskatchewan Roughrider lagered, Xander Horvath joining him back for the kick, and it's Berryhill to take it at the 12. Up across the 30 and the 35 as he gets tackled there by, among others, DeMarcus Field. To look at Nathan Rourke's first half.
Well, the problem for Rourke in the first half was he really didn't get the ball in the first quarter. Just 6 plays run offensively for the BC Lions in the first quarter. That's because of the long drives, 2 of them from Trevor Harris and the Sask offense. But in that second quarter, got going, ran it in with the help from his friends, and closed it to a 1-possession game.
Yeah, to your point about time of possession, they had 4 drives. They scored on half of them. They have a field goal and a touchdown to account. This is his drive number 5 starting now. Look at those numbers by Rourke. 13 of 20, 172. Here we go. 7-point difference. Second half begins. And faking the handoff, rolling to the right, and a little low, right around the first down marker intended there for Justin McInnes. Incomplete.
I just wonder if Justin McInnes is feeling like he made the catch there. Look towards his bench. That's often when a receiver does that, they're looking for the challenge. They wouldn't do it this early in the second half. It would be a waste of 1 on a play like this, but I did see the pebbles flash.
So 2nd and 10 it is. An offense led by last year's most outstanding player, Nathan Rourke. And here we go. He's got time, and it's hit the line of scrimmage, and coming in close to picking it off his ex-teammate Josh Woods. This fell a little bit shy, but up front the Riders got some heat on Rourke, and the Lions are going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, they did. A little twist up front here. A little game up front for the interior defensive line. Pressure off the edge. He gets hit as he throws, so he can't step into that throw to Keon Hatcher in behind and in the intermediate route. He gets hit. Ball comes out of his hands sideways, and Josh Woods about a yard away from a pick.
And that was Desmond Evans, one of the new members of that Rider defense, defensive end. Corey Mace likes him a lot. And a good punt there by Myers. 64 yards after the 2-and-out by BC. And a good return here for Letcher, who keeps his feet. The ex-Alouette, James Letcher. He gets it up across the 30, where Trevor Harris, 14 of 16 for 196 and a couple of touchdowns in the first half.
Put on a clinic in the first quarter. 2 long drives, both ending in touchdowns. One that started on his own 1-yard line, went 109 yards. Very interesting discussion from the panel on how you'd rank quarterbacks in the league right now. And the big picture that I got from that, if Trevor Harris, according to the panel and some different votes, is around 4 or 5 in the league. That tells you something about the quarterback play in the league right now.
Well, you judge the body of work, and he is a Grey Cup champion, the reigning Grey Cup MVP at age 40. And it's Keyshawn Johnson with the catch. Happy to be back playing again after missing the tail end, including the playoffs of the Grey Cup in a 16-yard game.
And just think about his season at 4,500 yards. Double the touchdown passes at 24 to 11 interceptions. The great completion percentage, and I agree with Enoch in a way that he's maybe not as flashy as some of them. I mean, certainly Davis Alexander or Nathan Rourke, guys like that. But if you want precision, consistency, success, I'd take him early.
Well, I'll tell you what, too, and Milton talked about this. You're judged by, I mean, did he win a championship? And the answer is yes. He'd already won with the Argos and the Ottawa REDBLACKS, but in a backup role.
Right.
And this meant a lot to him because he was the starting quarterback of a team that won the Grey Cup, and that was a first for him, even though he's had rings before, and you know that meant a lot to him.
And having Ottawa close when he was a starter.
And that's right. The REDBLACKS, when he did start in the Grey Cup in 2018 against the Calgary Stampeders. So a 3-yard pickup and a second and long coming up. A beautiful late afternoon into the evening here at Mosaic Stadium in Regina. And the season opener for both of these teams. The defending champs of the BC Lions. And
got him.
Deep shot, open receiver, got him. Sam Emilus again. How quickly he got down and how quickly Harris got rid of that football.
Yeah, Sam Emilus was 4 or 5 yards in behind coverage. Like a corner on the outside may have had that outside responsibility. CJ Colton is late to the party. TJ Lee tried to react and help, not in time. Another big gainer, 38-yard catch by Emilus.
Our statistician Dave Moyer tells us that he just tied Joe Paopao. We were talking about that in Rider history, and for number 7 on the all-time Rider list for passing yards, Trevor Harris, number 7. A.J. Ouellette, number 45, and muscles his way down to the 15.
You know, and I know it's 7th in the team's history, and that's okay, cool. It's not a huge milestone. It's not like he's taking over first place. But I found it fascinating that it was the same guy.
Well, I was going to say that it's Joe Paopao with the BC Lions chart that Nathan Rourke is chasing.
Exactly.
For the same, so. But then again, too, Trevor Harris, long and distinguished career, not a lot of it with the Riders. This is season number 4. He missed a big chunk 2 years ago. Played only 5 games. And he had some big numbers back with Edmonton, Montreal, actually more recently, and the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and started with the Toronto Argonauts. Here he is again. Completed. Down at the 10. First down. Sideline photographer takes a pop there from Kian Schaefer-Baker at a very good first half.
Yeah, I'd also say about Trevor is if you throw with this kind of accuracy and that kind of processing speed where you're getting it out of your hands that quickly, recognizing coverage, you don't need to be flashy. And they're just Schaefer-Baker coming up like, it's okay, it's okay, I got you. Football's supposed to be fun.
Well, he's taking care of the guy who's getting a good close-up shot of Kian Schaefer-Baker right down on the sidelines there. So we got a first and goal at the BC 9. Riders on the move again. Off to the right to Ouellette, and a good tackle in open space there by the weak side linebacker Ben Holatic on A.J. Ouellette right around the 10.
Yeah, he read this right out of the gate. This is film work for the veteran in Ben Holatic, 6 years in the league, and he just reads this immediately. You see 45 get out of the backfield in A.J. Ouellette. He gets out there quick, and look at how fast Ben Holatic closes. UBC product.
For the longest time talking about one of the young players in the league, but yeah, you're right. Veteran Ben Holatic in his 6th year out of the UBC T-Birds program. So it's a second and goal at the BC 8 now for Harris. Looks into the end zone, nearly intercepted. TJ Lee, talk about veterans, coming across in coverage on Kian Schaefer-Baker, and he nearly had the pick. Oh, in September. Nathan Rourke and the Lions with the ball. They're down by 10 now. And that's caught in traffic going up for it. And bringing it down is Kieran Poisson. Mentioning him, played his junior football in Vancouver Island, but he's from Regina to Miller High School.
Tough catch, good concentration, and hit pretty hard there from Marcus Sales. Bit of a face mask that he may have got away with. It went all the way to the turf.
And he hung on for a first down. Regina's own Kieran Poisson, but going against the Rough Riders here with the BC Lions. Rourke to throw again over the middle, caught by Catoy. Javon Catoy having a busier season opener than his fourth catch, and another good pickup for a first down.
He's a little slow to get up too now. Early injury to Seven McGee, who was going to play a ton of offense here tonight and this season. That's why Poisson is in the game playing in that spot.
Already with Seven McGee out and Catoy out for now after his fourth catch of the game. And Rourke is to pass, and he has time, and it's underneath, and it's caught, and it's a first down. Top target a year ago, Keon Hatcher with a late flag coming out after Hatcher picked it up for the first down.
Amir Thurman, a bit of discussion here.
Unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan, number 22. Full 15 yards, first down.
DeMarcus Fields. Hatcher comes all the way across the field. It'll roll to his right for Nathan Rourke, and he's going to throw it back all the way across. And was Keon Hatcher out of bounds when he got hit by DeMarcus Fields here? That extra push is the penalty to put it half the distance to the goal line.
So with that pickup at 25 yards and the penalty as well, big net gain for the BC Lions to put them all the way down to the Saskatchewan 3. It's a first and goal. And again, the Lions with an opportunity to really close the gap. They're down by 10. Rourke on that first and goal, handing off to Butler. 3, 2, 1, touchdown Lions. BC with another major score. And this one could get them to within a field goal.
You definitely have to block the edge to have your running back run that clean outside. Interesting ball handling from Nathan Rourke too here, but that's James Butler just lead blocking from Horvath. There's the edge blocked up. And it was Xander Horvath with the key block off the edge, so his running mate behind him could get that corner untouched.
James Butler capping off a 4-play 70-yard drive in just a minute and a half. Working quickly. Of course, they did the penalty after the big gain by Hatcher. The Riders still lead it 20-17. Here's the kickoff now taken by James Letcher. Across the 35, across the 40, across the 45 before he's tackled to help the Rider offense set up nicely after a 35-yard return for the ex-Montreal Alouette. James Letcher, who was injured and couldn't play in the Grey Cup game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but of course was on the Alouette sideline and heartbroken. And he'd already experienced the Grey Cup ring, though, in 2023. He just burst on the scene with Montreal.
Yeah, great returners are fearless. That's the #1 ingredient needed in great returners. You see how he was running like no one was going to hit him. And there are guys flying around trying to knock those returners out, and you have to be fearless. There's some great returners in this league too.
Oh, there are. Definitely are. It was Mario Alford here.
Yeah.
With Saskatchewan for several great years after being with Montreal himself when Letcher took over there. The tackle by Parker McKenna, newcomer to the Lions, on Sam Emelis, who's had a big day.
Good strong tackle from the Washington product. Hustles out there to make this little RPO throw on the edge. Emelis hit the turf pretty hard there too. Good to see him get up. Getting involved. Rookie season.
So McKenna with that tackle. It's a 2nd and 7 at the Rider 52, approaching midfield. Harris again, and this time for Schaefer Baker, no. Falls incomplete. And some good coverage in there, I believe, with Darnell Sankey, the new middle linebacker with BC.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before Darnell Sankey starts to make an impact on this defense. He did for years in Montreal. The guy is a player. He's a leader. He closes in a hurry. He's got great reach, 6'1", 245. I think what stands out more than anything is his leadership ability. He just gets everybody together, and you heard him talk to Britt at half.
But yeah, what a contribution he's made. And you know, the way this game is going makes me think back to when the Lions trailed in the West Final last year by 7.
Yeah.
Rourke found Hatcher alone in the end zone. Rourke later scored. They took the lead before the dramatic Ryder comeback. Are we in store for something like this now? It was hard to imagine back in the first quarter, but here comes BC. Little play fake and setting up a screen. It gets knocked away.
Mike Rose.
Really the veteran, even his second year with the Riders. And oh, what do we have here? the engagement party continued there, I see.
Oh, fake inside on the handoff, and Mike Rose noticed the screen, widen, got his hand on it, and there's the Roses and Gaynor, and I think the rest of the guys in the league, I think it's over. I think that's it. Yeah. Start making some plans. Kate Burness, Gaynor the Gopher, pressure by the Riders, and Rourke running around, can't get away. You never doubt him, because he's been able to squirt loose at other times, but not that time. He is taken down, and Desmond Evans. Yes,
talking about all that change in the Rider defensive line, quite a bit of it, and they're counting on him, 98, to be a key addition to this team. Well, I watched the preseason game up in Saskatoon when they played the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the preseason. It was a tremendous event to be up there, and Desmond Evans was all over the field. He ended up in that game with a couple of tackles and 1 sack, but it just seemed like every offensive play for Winnipeg, he was around the football. Corey Mace raved about him. Spent some time with the Tennessee Titans. Latest college ball at North Carolina. Flag is out of the punt by Meyer to Letcher at the 40. And more good field position, it would appear, coming up here for Saskatchewan. Couple of flags now out. One coming up afterwards, close to midfield. Some stuff for Justin McInnes, the referee, and the officiating staff to sort out. With BC, which would indicate it's against the Riders.
Too many players, Saskatchewan. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat third down.
But because of the sack, it was 3rd and 15. The 10-yard penalty only gets some, but allows it's a re-kick. I'll just let you count on your own. Yeah, you're not going to telestrate this, are you? I'm not going to telestrate. You're not going to. No. It's a kind of a bunch in there, but yeah, that flag came out real early, so they had them all counted up. And no one in this province wants to talk about 13 men on the field. They'll talk about the 13th man in the stands. Right. That's a big part of it. I think they're also talking about that new romance here at Mosaic. Yeah, that's so. Where's number 13? To get the punt away, Meyer, they were looking for better field position, accepting that penalty. 44-yard punt. And Letcher still fighting his way. So the ball comes out, but it's whistled down. But around the 43, so it is slightly better field position for BC as it forces the Riders to start a little bit further back. Still in a pretty good spot. Mike Benavides, former head coach at one point with the BC Lions and back with the organization for several seasons now as their defensive coordinator. Had been special teams coordinator before that, but hoping his defense can keep something going here. But A.J. Ouellette might have other plans. A little stiff arm and a good run up to midfield. Looks like a first down there for the Saskatchewan Roughriders with Ouellette running hard. A gain of 11. Yeah, when your offense starts to bog down a little bit, and the opposing defense making a couple plays, allow your big guys up front to start road grading. Just to allow them to start run blocking, get a little more aggressive up front, and it also plants a seed of doubt in the minds of the defenders. You got to deal with the run game before you drop into your pass responsibilities. So we see that quite often. Offense is getting a little bit of a struggle. They start to run the ball a little bit more.
Call it a gain of 12 and just a yard into the Lions zone. Harris swinging it out to the left. Kean Schaefer-Baker inside the 50, gets it down to the 47 of BC, and a 7-yard pickup for the Riders.
He's going to drop right out of there. Basically 4 receivers wide to the field, and 3 of them, their job is to block for Schaefer-Baker on this.
Mentioning all the injuries they had to the receiving corps last year, testing the depth. Schaefer-Baker only played in 5 games.
Yeah.
Had 15 catches for 177 the entire season. He's having a very good opener here. And it continues inside the 40. Kean Schaefer-Baker. What a game he's having. Product of University of Guelph in his 6th season.
2nd and 5 or less, and maybe you would rank Trevor Harris even higher in the old quarterback ranking system, because you get him in 2nd and 3 or 4, he can take all those underneath throws, get the ball in his hands quickly, and go to the run game if he wants to. It's the playbook is open on 2nd and 3rd.
He's distributed the ball, yes, suits nicely. Schaefer-Baker has 8 catches for 99 yards. I mentioned his total for all of last season, near 100 for this game alone. Oh, and the tackle there by Ben Hladek on A.J. Ouellette, who gets him up and down after a short carry.
First guy to go talk to Hladek after that tackle was Darnell Sankey. And this is what I mean about sometimes it's the subtle things. It's Ben Hladek who's probably admired Darnell Sankey's game from a distance. And then he comes in and makes a tackle on the run play, and Sankey comes over right away and goes, "Nice job, nice job." And you know, when that happens from a veteran, it means a lot.
Very widely respected middle linebacker in the Canadian Football League, and Darnell Sankey. 2nd and 8, line 34. There's Del Duncan Busby. He gets a touch. Ball comes out. A flag comes out as well. The Lions say they have it. To sort that out. No, Duncan Busby's up with the football, but as mentioned, they got a flag to sort out too.
There are 2 receiver blocks down the field on this play that are outstanding. Duncan Busby has a chance to get to the marker because of the 2 blocks from his teammates. Let's see what the penalty is. Watch the blocking downfield when he get over here. Sam Emelis was one of them.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 19. It's 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
It looked like he was locked up so well that there was no way that defensive back was going to make a tackle, but refs saw a different angle and saw him actual holding.
And you saw the ball coming out. It looked like before Duncan Busby was down, but he was the one that recovered it. Moot point anyway. As it turns out now with the penalty, they are back close to the BC 44 and a 2nd down and 18 after that hold. Challenge flag coming out by Buck Pierce.
BC is challenging the previous play. They believe they recovered the fumble.
Oh.
It'll be reviewed.
Well, there was a fumble at the end of that play.
There
was.
At
least the ball came out. We don't know if Duncan Busby was down or not. I haven't really looked at a bunch of replays.
Now, we'll have to have another look at this. Wondering as you do, were his knees down or was a knee down as that ball was coming out? But also, it looked like he was the one in a scramble reaching back and got the ball.
Well, that's the whole question. I mean, one is that they're they're challenging that BC recovered this fumble, so they must have ruled that it was a fumble. So that eliminates the discussion on whether or not his knee was down, because if they ruled this a fumble, then they're saying it wasn't. So the ball's out.
Ball is out.
And
Definitely a fumble.
And his knee is not touched. So the officials saw that. And now Buck Pierce is challenging that his team recovered this.
Well, watch the arm scooping it in. Does Duncan Busby not get the ball back? And clearly he has possession of it. I mean, that's Rider football. Even with it being, as you point out, the ball coming out, and Duncan Busby knew that too before the knees went down.
He's right in front of the BC Lions bench, and I wonder if Buck Pierce saw an angle that just convinced him that his guy got it. But I'm with you. It looked like Duncan Busby recovered his own fumble.
Well, here's the ruling now.
After review by the replay center, the ruling on the field stands. BC loses their challenge and also a timeout.
So challenge fails for Buck Pierce. It was a fumble, but it was recovered by the guy who dropped the ball, Duncan Busby.
And the penalty still is assessed, so it's still 2nd and long here. But in a 3-point game, that timeout could be important.
And especially where they are in the field right now, late in the 3rd quarter, and it's caught by Keyshawn Johnson, who turns it up. And not nearly enough for a first down, but he gets it down to the 35. 3 seconds to go.
Field goal range.
Keyshawn Johnson, as mentioned, was the leading receiver on the team, but suffered a knee injury October the 10th and was done the rest of the way, was not able to help the Riders in the West Final or in the Grey Cup, and slowly getting off right at the sideline after this catch.
That was a snowstorm hit him.
And that kick is wide. That was Alex Hale, his first miss, and just settles down, and 1 point goes on the
for this year. 2-3 hours before anybody arrived at the stadium, he was the only guy out there visualizing what he would see from the BC defense in this game tonight, and has been locked in. Just a handful of incompletions for the veteran quarterback.
Well, they scored 17 points on their first 3 possessions, but it's now a 21-17 game, and here's James Butler with a big run as he busts that one up around midfield. A 15-yard run, longest of the day.
That's a big run for James Butler. But I want to go back to that missed field goal, because with the new rule, you miss a field goal and concede, it's a single. If you let that go through the end zone, it's not.
Right.
You get the ball in the 40. I mean, you're talking about a mistaken strategy, really, from the BC Lions. Now it's a 4-point game instead of a 3-point game. That's a big difference.
Here we are in a 1st and 10 for Nathan Rourke, right in midfield, and he swings it over and gets it to Butler. Couldn't find anyone downfield, and Butler, as you get something out of that in the first down, picks up another couple of yards. You're right, though. That's a big point looming right now.
Well, small nuance, but maybe the ball in the missed field goal doesn't go out the back of the end zone. Then you can pick it up, and you have to, or else it can be recovered. But that's a good catch off the top of the shoes.
And what a great look at it too. It just barely slide a credit card underneath there, but he did catch it. He's got a couple of yards, and a 2nd and 8 now. Just barely into the Rider zone. BC 4th quarter trailing by 4. Complete, and a first down to Justin McInnes.
Yeah,
his 6th catch.
And I know what you're saying, but your platinum card would fit right underneath that, no problem. We're going to give a little workout to that later.
You're just saying that because I didn't get dinner last night. Rourke again, completing again, down to the 30 for Stanley Berryhill. BC down 4, has something going here, another 14 yards as they're close to scoring position now and thinking of more.
Well, that roll to his right and then throwing against the grain with his receiver going the opposite direction, that's a tough throw.
Rourke is 19 of 29 for 248. Throwing again over the middle in traffic, and Keon Hatcher comes up with a football and is pointing first down.
How did he catch that? How did he catch that? First of all, it looked like it was an early hit from the Riders secondary. Looks like it might have been ruled a pass interference.
At 18 yards, and they follow up with James Butler. Follow up quickly, get it down to the 10. Have another look at Keon Hatcher here.
Well, Lacombo looked like he hit him early. So that's what I thought. There was no flag on the play, and how he came up that with Jameer Thurman and Lacombo over the top. That's a heck of a catch right there.
Wow. The Lions have not led in this game. They have a chance to take the lead now. They're just inside the Saskatchewan 10. 21-17, a 2nd and 6 at the Rider 9. Crowd picks up. Gets that BC offense. Pressure coming. The blitz, they got it. The Rider defense gets to Nathan Rourke again. And coming in, James Vaughters, who had been with Winnipeg last year. One of the new additions to the Riders up front.
Yeah, James Vaughters has to go the long way around to get to Nathan Rourke, but he takes his time. He works his pass rush moves on Dejon Allen. Gets up high. He has to be picked up by Xander Horvath. Gets around that block from the tail back and gets home on Nathan Rourke. So, yeah, instead of a field goal now to tie it, it's a field goal attempt to go down by 1.
Yet within 1 point. Sean White out. Sean White through. And so the Lions do move the ball down, get it inside the Rider 10. They settle for the 3, but we got a 1 point, 10:58 to go here in the 4th quarter. Could there be more drama in store between these two teams? A.J. Ouellette left side, cuts it back, takes a hit too, a solid pop as he is taken down. That is Deontay Williams, the ex-Rider, coming in to knock down Ouellette.
Started last couple of drives with the run game, and they have run into that left side primarily because that's where Peyton Collins at tackle is. They do have Jamarcus Hardrick back in the lineup at right tackle. I'm just not sure if he's 100% right now.
12 for 18. 2nd down conversions, and they convert there in a big way. Schaefer Baker's big night continues. Well over 100 yards receiving, and a huge first down for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Trevor Harris, for the 56th time in his career, has thrown for over 300.
And by the way, Jamarcus Hardrick is back, and he looks fine, and he blocks Matthew Betts off the edge here to the right of your screen. That gives Trevor Harris a window and a chance to throw it, and he finds Schaefer Baker. What a night for 89.
Kean Schaefer Baker has 151 yards receiving. He had 177 all season last year in 5 games. What a debut. Targeted 11 times, 9 catches, that 151. Riders suddenly in business. A.J. Ouellette, a short pickup.
Well, it is real good news that Jamarcus Hardrick is back. Trevor Harris, with that offensive line back intact, has just gone over 300 yards passing on the night. And poised to put some more points on the board.
In the red zone for the 4th time. They're 2 for 3 coming into this. And they need this too, the way BC's been stealing momentum back. It's Harris again, standing at his 20 and into the end zone, nearly picked. He looked for Keyshawn Johnson, And it was Ronald Kent Jr. who had a chance at that ball.
Remember, Keyshawn Johnson limped off as well. So good news for Rider fans. He's back and healthy, but this was just an overthrow by 7. And Ronald Kent was surprised by it. He was breaking on the receiver in Keyshawn Johnson. Then, oh, that's how not even the BC Lion DBs think that Trevor Harris is going to miss like that.
Kent likely shocked, yeah, that he even had an opportunity for that ball, and just a little bit in behind as he was coming over, but had a shot at it. So instead, Alex Hale, who missed his last field goal try, gets another one here. 22-yard kick for Hale, the new kicker of the Rough Riders, and that one is good. And 3 big points.
He walked into the room asking Coach Mace a couple of questions. Hey, Coach, how you want to do this? And I thought, wow, he's on top of it.
Those two are close, going back to the Calgary days when they were teammates, and later Corey Mace was his coach then. Nathan Rourke is hauled down. Desmond Evans, a flag comes out. There was already a flag out with a snap of the ball, and Evans, you can see his hand get up around the face mask of Nathan Rourke.
So that's what they hope is going to replace the pressure from a Micah Johnson and a Malik Carney. They're hoping to, it looked like there might have been an offside here. We'll see what the penalties are, but they're hoping that it's a Desmond Evans and James Vaughters off the edge. Mike Rose is a veteran. And Micah Johnson, now I guarantee you they had to get a quadruple XL coaching sweatsuit.
There are 2 fouls on the previous play. We have offside, BC. Roughing the passer against Saskatchewan, number 98. We'll go up 10 yards and an automatic first down.
Not only Micah Johnson, I think there are a few others in this building that don't like that call.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it either. Unless it was a face mask or up around the head area, it looked like he just pulled him down. Evans, and they're replaying it here in the building, and you can hear the reaction. Let's take a look.
Well, the hand is on the mask there
initially. It's a face mask.
And even though slid off, but you clearly see that left hand there.
Yeah. No, the tackle was clean. It was the face mask.
Yeah. So Desmond Evans has had a good night in his Rider debut, but penalized there. It's up to the 50. It's a 1st and 10 for Rourke. Handing off to Butler, coming in behind the line. A nice tackle there by Antoine Brooks, the nickel linebacker, coming in to take him down. Another flag is out.
BC's got another issue. One more flag on the field. I believe it's going against the Lions.
Procedure, no end, BC. Penalty is declined, 2nd down.
Corey Mace will decline that, keep him in, rather than go first. And
2nd and 11 now for Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions, trailing by 4 halfway through this 4th quarter. Rourke steps up, deep throws, got it! Great catch by Justin McInnes, all the way down to the Rider 20, just inside. And over 100 yards for McInnes.
Yeah, what makes Justin McInnes so good, and he started his career as a Saskatchewan Roughrider, but what makes him so good is his catch radius. I mean, that ball's on the outside shoulder. He's got the long arms. Take a look. He'll show you when he signals the first down how long they are.
They spot it back at the 21 and a 1st and 10 after a 39-yard pickup. So a quick throw again, this time to Keon Hatcher inside the 15.
Boy, this feels like the West Final.
It is starting to. As said, the 4th quarter began with the Lions down 7. They scored 2 touchdowns to take a 7-point lead. Ultimately, the Riders, after a field goal, needed a touchdown to win it, which they did. Here's Rourke. Breaking through again, Nathan Rourke takes a hit down around the 6. And that was Jameer Thurman, the middle linebacker, the one to hit Rourke, but we've seen his ability to run the ball again in this game.
What a tackle by Jameer Thurman to make this play against a real tough quarterback to bring down in the open field. And Jameer Thurman told us this week, said, you know, everybody's making predictions about the Lions and a lot of other teams. No one's saying that we're going to be repeating as champions. Believe me, we hear all that. Bit of a chip there.
There was. Clearly, he felt the defending champs a little disrespected by the prognosticators. won a Grey Cup with the Calgary Stampeders back in 2018. So here we go, first and goal. Butler to the 3, to the 2. Butler, they try to force him to break the play to the goal line, and they get awfully close with a second and goal coming up.
Just tremendous second effort from James Butler here, because he was held about the 4-yard line, and it was Thurman that made the initial contact.
So Xander Horvath comes in. Jacob Bond as well. Offensive lineman Anuuna. Big package in here. Breakdown at the Rider 1. The BC Lions have not led in this game. This is their best chance to take the lead here in the fourth quarter, under 5 minutes to go. Xander Horvath reaching over, pushing with a second effort. Does he break the plane? Waiting for the signal, and we don't get one yet. Third down ahead.
Xander Horvath is a tailback, and he was reluctant to reach the ball over the goal line. He didn't want to do that in case someone from the Riders defense would slap it out of his hands. And I don't think he got there from this push.
That is so close. He's clearly, it's the ball that has to break the plane.
Exactly. That's the difference. I don't think the ball got across that plane. It looked like the helmet did, but not the ball.
There we go. Touchdown or bust to the BC Lions. Nathan Rourke is back in at quarterback. Will they take the lead? Handing off to Butler. Touchdown. Lions on top. As Butler does it again.
And maybe a little example of the difference between a veteran tailback and a good young prospect who's going to be excellent in Xander Horvath, who took that one, was reluctant to reach across and got pushed back. No reluctance here from James Butler. He's out reaching with that football to get it across the plane, and the Lions take the lead for the very first time in this game.
Well, in the Western Final, there were more lead changes. That's the first with BC moving on top. But yeah, you flash back to November and how close and how dramatic it was. And boy, the stage is set now with 3:41 on the clock and counting here at a 26-24 BC lead, pending the extra point for Sean White to go up a field goal. And they do.
The offense had a couple of chances to stay on the field and cut into that time that was left for Trevor Harris to drive the field. That's why he's taking full responsibility and not putting it on the defense from last year.
It turned out to be the Riders' time, as we talked about. It's a motto, a slogan that ended up on their championship ring. But Nathan Rourke, as you heard, had every reason to think at that point it could be BC's time, or we're at a season opener now, and the Lions have the lead by 3.
Well, last night we had both quarterbacks throwing for over 400. Tonight they're both over 300. Yeah, there's some great quarterback play early in this season. Now, what does Trevor Harris have?
Well, and where this game really differs from that West Final last November is the way it started tonight with Saskatchewan on fire. Harris in that offense tore down 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
Saskatchewan.
I mean, they were shot out of a cannon, but things that, credit the Lions defense too, who gradually got to Harris and the Riders to slow them down.
This is a use it or lose it scenario for Corey Mays inside of the 3, just before the 3-minute warning.
The Riders started well last year in their championship run. They were 4-0 through week 4. BC slow out of the gate at 1-3. For Corey Mason, his second year last year as the head coach here in Saskatchewan.
Well, 12 wins won the West last year.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that this year it might be 11 that wins. It's so
tight. A lot of parity in this division now.
Absolutely.
Not just these two. These were the 2 top teams, though, last year. Met in that Western Final here at Mosaic. So getting near 3-minute warning time. That is complete. Samuel Emlis. A great night coming in to that catch. And a flag coming out. Emlis, 4 catches, a couple of touchdowns.
This is in the holding range.
That's coming back, though.
Yeah, right in the holding
Holding,
area.
Saskatchewan, number 41. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Albert Awachi is called in the hold.
Nathan Harris was coming off the edge, and it was around the neck.
Quite a discrepancy in penalties as well. With a 3-minute warning. And that attempt from Trevor Harris to A.J. Ouellette. Have a look.
A.J. Ouellette's coming out of the backfield. It's way past the contact zone, that's for sure.
Saskatchewan is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. Play will be reviewed.
Trevor Harris ran over immediately and got the attention of the coach. He looked at the replay on the big screen here in the stadium.
The challenge and the contact made downfield.
Yeah, too far down the field. Top left-hand corner of your screen. Number 45 gets jammed and basically stopped. Now, I guess the question, what they're looking at here is, was the ball out of his hands? But that's still contact way down the field. Now, you can't challenge illegal contact. You can only challenge pass interference.
And that's Ben Hladik, the Lions linebacker, who made the contact with A.J. Ouellette. So the replay center has a look here, and everything's getting more critical now, of course, under 3 minutes to go in a 3-point game.
Was the ball in the air? Because he was the intended target.
We still wait and see what the replay center will rule here, which could be a big first down by penalty for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The referee, Justin McInnes.
After review by the replay center, the ruling on the field is overturned. We have pass interference, BC, number 46. The ball will be placed at the 38-yard line and an automatic first down.
Yeah, well, it's the timing of Trevor Harris getting the ball out of his hands just in time, because the contact was made early. It's not thrown yet, but the contact went long enough that it became pass interference, which is challengeable.
And as a result of that PI now, they get it up to their 30, a 12-yard gain, a first down. 3-point difference. The Riders trail for the first time in this game. Trevor Harris, who's had a big night, but still has more work to do to get them on top again. Has time. Off to the left. It is caught. Coming back to the football is Keyshawn Johnson. He's just fine. Up at the 43 and another first down for the Riders. 9th catch of the night for Keyshawn Johnson.
Big penalty to kickstart this drive for Trevor Harris in this offense.
Jonah Tavai, big inside lineman with the BC Lions. Harris's passing total up to 351. His time again was running out of it, but completes another one. Still Duncan Busby has that one, and another first down, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, a little stunt up front on the defensive line for the Lions that Trevor Harris has a little bit of trouble with, but he throws, and this is that off-schedule type of play that he just made. Duncan Busby gives him a target, and he throws with accuracy, even though he threw in an awkward position.
And that one counts. The last one was turned back because of penalty. Duncan Busby, 6th receiver for Trevor Harris to have at least one catch. Pressure quickly and often dropped. Intended there for Johnson, and the coverage by one of the newcomers to that Lions defense. That's Tyson Russell.
Yeah, Gary Peters is injured and actually on the 6th game. So they had to play the rookie who's had a great training camp, Tyson Russell, but he is young, playing that corner. That's a nice play to react with the timing to not get that pass interference call.
What a big 2nd down and 10 coming up here now. A approaching midfield. Pressure again, and underneath it is caught by Schaefer Baker, who has it close to the first down marker. What a great night for Schaefer Baker, as at the very least this would be 3rd and short. See where they spot the football.
Similar catch radius to Justin McInnes, and he had to go up and get that one in traffic. Ronald Kent is right there in coverage, and this extra stretch here gets him to 1 yard short of the first down marker.
Just 1 yard. With Tommy Stevens in, their short yardage quarterback.
See,
3rd and 1.
This I like.
He's used to these scenarios. Saskatchewan and Calgary before. And with that big, tall frame, Tommy Stevens leads across for a first down.
Not your starting quarterback in short yardage, but a quarterback that can get you that extra 1 or 2. Tommy Stevens averages 3.5 yards and did last year, when most of the time he was in to get 1. He got 3.5. So, and plus, this is the other thing. The defender has to, with a quarterback in there, the defender has to think he could throw it. That may be hesitation by a split second.
So 152. Could all this be happening again? Here comes Saskatchewan. 9th play of the drive. Harris to the left, going up for it, and coming down with it is Jalen Johnson, the new receiver for Saskatchewan's offense. 7 more yards.
And that puts the Riders in field goal range at the very least. Now let's see if, from Coach Mueller, the play calling changes. Are they aggressive, go down and put the major on the board, or do they get a little more conservative here, knowing they're in field goal range now?
Well, remember last November, field goal was not an option in the final minute. They needed the touchdown. They were down by 4.
No question.
This time, field goal would be an option to force overtime, but sure thinking more. Harris complete. Schaefer Baker ho-hum again. What a career night for 89 as Williams rides him out of bounds. 1:16 to go.
Full blitz from the BC Lions. Trevor Harris can't block them all. Gets it out of his hands quickly. That's the adjustment route from Schaefer Baker, who's having himself a career night. And they're going to just keep chucking. 165 yards and counting for 89.
It was his old teammate Deontay Williams giving him an escort there. So to the BC 35. Schaefer Baker is 164 yards receiving. Close to matching what he had all of last season in 5 games. Pressure coming. Harris quickly away. And it's caught again by Emilus. Doesn't have as many catches as Schaefer Baker, but he's got some big ones. A couple for a touchdown, and that one that sets him up at 1st and goal.
They're coming down with the blitz, the Lions, and they're going to bring Jackson Finley down to help cover on the inside, and that's where the corner route comes from. So little change at the line of scrimmage, becomes Emilus on the corner, and it's Jackson Finley who has to pick him up coming out of that bunch because of the pre-snap change motion.
And Trevor Harris is now thrown for over 400 yards, 29 of 35. We're at the BC 6 and a 1st and goal, looking to get their lead back. Under a minute to go. A look to the end zone. Touchdown again. Emilus. Sam Emilus has his hat trick.
Again, pressure coming. Harris has got the corner out to Sam Emilus. Can't block them all, understands that, lets it go, and Emilus runs under it. Now, unlike in the West Final, where they left 64 seconds for Trevor Harris to drive the field, Harris has only left 48 seconds for Nathan Rourke, who needs to now drive the field.
And if Alex Hale makes this point after, it's significant. They'll need a touchdown. And they need a touchdown because Saskatchewan goes up 31 turning down. Stanley Berryhill hit hard. Good work on teams. Antoine Brooks, and there's David Benda in there on the special teams tackle.
Well, another drive to take the lead. That's the penalty that started it. This was a penalty-aided drive, very close in that it was a challenge by Corey Mace that he won. Schaefer Baker, Emelis with a couple of corner routes off the blitz from the BC Lions.
A lot of fans in green and white on their feet. And this opening night to cheer on their defense. Make some noise with Nathan Rourke out there. 42 seconds. Pressure. Gets away. Couldn't find a receiver. And Nathan Rourke gets out of bounds after picking up the first down. 32 seconds left. Rourke would not give up on that play.
He's going to need a couple of chunk plays, though. I mean, this is a very athletic and strong running play for Rourke, but gets the first downs, gets a new set, gets out of bounds, although the clock stops in the final 3 minutes after every play. That hasn't changed.
Rider defense, I'm sure, be happy to give them something underneath. Just take away that deep ball, as you talked about, needing some chunk plays. 32 seconds. Play clock down to 2. Rourke to the left. No. Wanting to turn it up was Jacob Bond. Just a little too soon, as he did not secure the football. Second down.
Probably 4, maybe 5 plays. They're very efficient. And yeah, took a peek.
28 seconds. 31-27 Saskatchewan. BC needs a touchdown. Four-man rush. Rourke over the middle. It's caught. Closer to midfield, just across the 50. That's McInnes. 22 seconds. 9-yard pickup. Third down and 1. Seconds. Can you afford to take much time to make sure you get the first down?
Well, it's over if you don't, so you got it.
He gets it. He gets it. He's still going. He slides down around the 42. So they, of course, move the sticks. 14 seconds to go.
15.
Timeout. BC.
About 10, 15 more yards, and you can throw intermediate routes to the goal line. Lions take the timeout, make sure they get everything straight for this crucial play coming up.
This Corey Mace can only smile. Hey, in the stress of the moment, you got to say the way this game started for Mace's Riders, you'd be excused for thinking that it wouldn't be this situation towards the end, but a good rally by BC has certainly made it interesting. They got the lead finally in the fourth quarter. Saskatchewan just got it back. What an opening night for these two again. The Lions, though, said they need a touchdown. They got 14 seconds to get to the end zone. Another four-man rush. Rourke, no. Not even close. Closest was Brooks.
Yeah, the pass rush, the key there. The pass rush right down Main Street gets in the face of Nathan Rourke, so he can't step into this. That was just throw it away and not take too much time off the clock.
Trevor Harris and the Riders appreciate the banner raising, but the time now isn't 2025. It's a new season.
2 plays.
Wanting to get off on a winning note. The four-man rush. Rourke over the middle again. Caught and down to about the 33. Brooks the tackle on Butler. 4 seconds to go and close enough to chuck it down to the end zone.
Yep. One thing Buck Pierce can do here is get Rourke outside on the edge. Not in the opportunity to run or pass, but to buy some more time to let guys like Keon Hatcher and Justin McInnes find a hole somewhere in the end zone.
The fact that it's third down no longer matters. This is it. Zeros on the clock. Last play. Down shy of the end zone. In fact, down